Welcome to the Miracles Happen Fertility Podcast, where it's all about using the power of your mind to create hope, health, and miracles on your fertility journey. And now your host, a dash of science and a heap of spirit, Dr. Maria Rothenberger.
Well, hello there. It's Dr. Maria Rothenberger, your host for the Miracles Happen Fertility Podcast. Welcome to episode 113, May 27th, 2021. You know better than your doctor. Yeah, I know that's a really provocative title, and I'm hoping that it is because I want to get the juices flowing with your thinking here and your feeling and your intuition today. I don't know how much or how many different ways that I can say what I'm going to say today. I know that if you've listened to my podcast before, you've probably heard me talk about getting in touch with your intuition to really guide you on your family building journey and really for the rest of your life using your own internal guidance. Last month, April, I released a meditation called, what is the exact name? About connecting with your greater self. I think I probably titled it Connect with Your Greater Self. I'm not looking at it right now, but that is the premise here. It's being able to get in touch with your own internal guidance system. And this is one of the ways that you can use this internal guidance system in a very practical way here on earth. And that is knowing more than your doctor does about you and your experiences. And then therefore what to do next. Because, your physician or whatever provider is going to have opinions about what you need to do on your treatment track. And sometimes it doesn't feel exactly right, but we feel so disempowered on this journey that we feel like the other person, the professional, knows better than we do. And that is absolutely a normal thing because this is freaking difficult and everything that we have tried so far has not worked. And so we are deferring to the professional. I want to talk about how you can find a balance between the two. What I am talking about today does not mean completely ignoring what your provider says at all. It means gathering information, getting in touch with what that information means for you and how it feels for you, and moving forward from there. So we're going to get into those details today. First, though, I want to talk about, it's Memorial Day weekend here in the U.S. coming up here in a day or so. Memorial Day is on Monday. My family and I are going camping. Woohoo! If you've heard me talk about this before, we purchased an RV, a travel trailer, and we are gallivanting all over Oregon, USA this summer. And if you happen to be in an area where we are and feel like meeting up at any point, seriously, shoot me a message, shoot me an email, info@drmariarothenberger.com, or you can even text me. That text number is on my website, drmariarothenberger.com. I would love to get in touch with folks who listen to my work and who are interested in asking some questions or just having a good time. So, let me know if you are in the area. This weekend, we are going to be camping near Cascade Locks in Oregon. And next year, 2022, we are planning an absolutely epic round trip across the U.S. So we start on the West Coast, obviously, in Oregon, and we will end up on the East Coast of the U.S. and make our way back. 8 weeks of travel. I am so looking forward to that. And by the way, I have a new Instagram account if you happen to be on Instagram, all about that. If you are interested in non-fertility related stuff, it's just travel with my family and I. The channel or the account is tmob.travels, TMOB.travels. So go follow me there. What else? I keep mentioning this. It's still coming up. The Spirit Baby Foundations training in August. You can go to drmariarothenberger.com/spiritbabytraining to sign up for more information on that, pricing, and what it's going to look like. This is 8 weeks of learning how to connect with spirit baby realm, how to access your, well, we're going to be talking about intuition, of course, how to discover your own clair abilities, so clairvoyance, clairaudience, and using various tools like crystals and pendulums and oracle cards. And it's going to be such a good time. I'm going to be sending real, like in the real mail, like snail mail stuff to people who engage in this training, as well as having one-on-one meetings and group meetings and a group forum where you can connect with others in the group. It's likely to be a very intimate, small group. I like it that way, so that we can go really in depth with you and your own work. Some questions that have come in are about pricing. That's all going to be in the email. And if you sign up now, if you get on that list now, you will automatically get 20% off of the full price of this 8-week series. Because it is a group education or foundations training, it's not going to be as premium as a one-on-one training. So it's likely going to be affordable. So that is going to be all in the email. All the details, everything that we're going to learn will be all in this email series that I'll be sending out, as well as a webinar that I will be doing to introduce the Spirit Baby Foundations training course. And that's going to be in July. So you'll get all the details about that too. And that's totally free. So you can ask your questions there, learn more about the foundations training. And that's that. All right. So I wanted to, again, talk today about you knowing better than anybody else, including your providers, your physicians, your acupuncturists, your massage therapists, your essential oils person, your aromatherapist, your chiropractor, your whomever, your parent, your spouse, everybody. You know better than anybody about what is best for you. And now, believe me, I completely understand, and I was exactly where you are when it comes to, or where you might be when it comes to that feeling really scary. I'm a mental health therapist, and when I went to mental health therapists in order to seek treatment for depression and anxiety during my fertility struggles, I didn't want to know how to fix anything. I was like, fuck, I don't want to be the therapist here. I had a therapist that called me counselor every time I walked in his office, and I was like, don't call me that. I don't want to have the answers here. I've been trying to have the answers. I'm exhausted. Nothing's freaking working. That's also the same therapist who said, every time I look at my wife, she gets pregnant. Yeah, you're fired. You're also allowed to fire your therapists or anybody else who doesn't serve you well, as I did with my first reproductive endocrinologist. So I get it. I get that it's scary to defer to not to defer to other people. I get that it's something that you subscribe to because you've tried to get pregnant or build your family for as long as you have, and nothing is freaking working. Everything that you know or that you thought you know is not working. Therefore, defer to the physician or whomever. And I understand that completely. The thing is, when you really get in touch with your own internal guidance system, you will realize that you know much more than you thought that you know, or that you thought that you knew. The problem is when we are so tied up in treatment protocols or another negative pregnancy test or missing an ovulation, an opportunity to get pregnant, when we are so caught up in all of that garbage. And for me, it was like very controlled, like super complicated traditional Chinese medicine supplement program that I put myself on, and I marked all my little bottles, and I knew exactly when to take everything, and I had to bring it along with me during the day because I had to take some during the day, and some had to be with food, and some had to be with... I had no stillness. There was zero stillness. We're going to do a meditation today to help create some stillness within you today, because meditation is where it all started for me. It started tongue in cheek, really. It started with this flippant attitude that I was going to prove meditation wrong. Meditation might work for other people. It's bullshit. It doesn't work for me. I've tried everything else though, so I'm going to do it and prove it wrong. And then it worked. I found a sense of stillness. I found my greater self. I found my intuition. I found joy of life. I found I struggle to find the word, but I believe it's reverence. I found a total reverence for everything that I was going through. And I didn't totally know which direction I needed to go, but I knew that I felt good right then. And that when an opportunity for choice came up for me, that I did not need to defer to anybody else outside of me to know what to do. I felt my way through it. And that's what we're talking about today. It's also in my book, Transcending Infertility. The chapter is called Trust Yourself. And it's a really important component to moving through your journey. Okay. So the first thing that I want to talk about is creating, and I already alluded to it, is creating a sense of stillness. Lately, I've noticed that I am really doing way too freaking much in my career and family life. I am going. We are creating more time with like camping and stuff. Once we are camping, it's like now we're settled and still, but the planning around it is pretty harried, and it's still more stuff that I'm doing. And I have all of these hobbies, like, oh my God, I do so many things for fun. And normally that would be great, but I end up feeling like I'm, lacking because I'm not able to get any of those things done. Although I have to say, I did make some pretty stellar macrame things the other day. Macrame's back. Did you know that? Oh my God, I just love it. And I was born in the 70s, so this makes me very happy. I made 3 macrame planter hangers. They are really, really simple, just a few knots, nothing like crazy, but they are gorgeous. And now I get to hang up my plants and hopefully not kill them. One thing finally I can check off my list. But I've been noticing lately that I am doing so much. I'm just doing a lot. And it's my passion. I love you. I love this community. I can't stop ever producing content and material for you guys. And I still need to take care of me. And that's exactly what you need to do. So you need to create some stillness. I need to create some stillness. Right now, I am just hanging in my bedroom with my dogs, and it's a slightly rainy, windy day, breezy day, and I'm loving it because it's kind of quiet. And I need more of these days. And I have a choice. Because I feel inside that I need it, I have a choice to create that for myself. I don't need to listen to anybody else about what needs to happen. Well, you really need to clean, and you really need to meal plan, and you really need to do this laundry, and you need to make these doctor's appointments, and you need to, and the list goes on. The list will never freaking end, right? It won't. So may as well put in some free time. May as well. When I moved to self-employment, 100% self-employment a couple of years ago, my husband, the idea was that I would have more time off to do home stuff, to do parenting stuff and just being at home. We have a special needs kiddo, and they're both young, and one plays sports and one, right? So there's a lot of time spent parenting. And yesterday I was talking about how harried I am. And T, my husband, says, what happened to like just working part-time? And I'm like, friggin' hey, you're right. You're so right. I had realized that I filled up that stillness and it's not working for me. So create some stillness, just as I am learning to do too. And I'm relearning to do, or I'm doing again. I've already learned that and then filled up the stillness with stuff. It's stuff that I'm passionate about and I love, and it's imbalanced. So you might be feeling that same way, and it could manifest in a lot of different ways, particularly on the fertility spectrum here. When you are in go, go, go mode all the time, that is your body in go, go, go mode. And go, go, go mode means there's no time to procreate right now. Let's shut down a little bit of digestion too. Like, you don't need to digest food or anything like that because you're going. Well, the body needs to recover. And this is just the level of the body. The body needs to settle. The body needs to rest. The body needs to digest. The body needs to be still. Then your mind, which your body and mind are not separate, right? Mind, body, soul, not separate from each other. But let's take them as if they are. Your mind needs to rest too. Last night, 1:30 in the morning, I just woke up and I could not go back to sleep. And I'm thinking about all kinds of things. Now, I'm not super stressed out. I just have my time filled up with a lot of fun things that I do. So it's not like negative stress, but my mind is like going. Okay, now I need to it'd be fun. It'd be fun to like redo that China hutch downstairs and then paint it or like do all this fun. Oh my gosh, my mind was going like crazy. Meanwhile, I am really needing to sleep. Sleep, by the way, is extremely important. It's the number one first thing that I talk about with clients who are dealing with depression and anxiety. Get regular, healthy sleep. So what did I do? I broke out one of my own tools that I talk to people about, okay? I live this stuff. I promise you. I still struggle too. And I still use the tools. So I pulled out my phone and I pulled up a meditation or a YouTube. It's called The Honest Guys. The Honest Guys on YouTube, great resource. They have a whole bunch of sleep meditations. So I pulled that up and I was out. I did not wake up until 7 o'clock this morning. I was out. So I got decent sleep. Now, had I not done that, had I not used one of my tools, who knows? Maybe I would have been up and given up and just gone downstairs and flipped on the TV. I don't know. Instead, I chose to use my tools. So it's really important to notice when shit's not going right, when you feel out of balance, and then use your tools. Now, will they work 100% of the time? I can totally not guarantee that, but they will work most of the time, especially if you continue giving it a shot. You can feel it inside. This is the point of all this. You can feel it inside when your mind is going. Being able to create stillness through meditation, through listening to music, through any practice that keeps you present in the present moment. That could be going for a run. That could be like my husband going for a motorcycle ride. That could be anything, gardening, whatever it is that keeps you fully present. That is creating stillness for your mind. And then, of course, your soul. Again, mind, body, soul, not separate, but we're talking about them as if they are. Your soul needs to be filled up too. And that means doing these things, right? Like, I love to fill up my soul. That's why I have 8,000 projects going and I have all these fun hobbies that I love to do. The problem is it's harried, and I need to create some stillness around it. So for me, even though I have a lot of things that I like to fill my soul up with, I prioritize. So I put my mind to work and I create a list of priorities. Here are all the projects that we want to do on the house, all the fun things that I like to do on my own, put this puzzle together, make macrame things, do a coloring page, cross stitch, crochet, whatever it is. I make a list, a priority list. Okay, so now I know I need to focus on this. I'm finishing up a cross stitch, for example. Almost done. It's only taken me like 6 years or something. No joke. I think I'm on the 6th year. Finally finishing it up. I should post a photo of that on Instagram. In fact, yes, that's going up on Instagram when it's done. It's going in my yoga meditation /guest/office space. I got to show that space too. That'll be fun. So there's my mind wandering. I need to create some stillness, recentering now. Filling up your soul with love, with this peacefulness is so important. And when you target even one of those things, it begins to address the other one. So let's say you find stillness with your body, you can create stillness in your mind and soul also. Imagine if you target all of those, how your whole energy system will change. Okay, I've gone on and on about stillness. It's that important. It is that important to get in touch with a still space so that you can listen well to your inner guidance so that you know more than your doc about your next steps. It really is imperative. Okay, here's the other thing. I did a Zoom meeting live last Saturday, and or a couple Saturdays ago. If you are on my mailing list, you probably got emails about it because for all of May, I am allowing folks to get a sneak peek or a glimpse into Miracles Happen membership through Patreon. And so if you are not on my mailing list, go do that now. You'll get all those goodies. So I've already done the live Q&A, so you'll get the recording of that, but you'll get a flavor for what that's like. Members get that on tier 3. You also get a monthly meditation for free as part of your membership and a whole host of other things, early access to podcast episodes, lots of other things that I haven't even listed. Okay. I give away a ton of shit anyway, but a lot of stuff is extra on the membership. So anyway, get on my mailing list. You'll get more information about that. It's still May, so you are going to get that. It's all going to go away in June though. So get on my mailing list, drmariarothenberger.com. Okay, so I did a Zoom live Q&A for this membership, and the theme, it turns out, was surrender. The theme was surrender. Now, that is terrifying, isn't it? It's really scary to surrender to things rather than trying to control them. So when I talk about that in terms of your own treatment, in terms of your own care, I don't mean to imply that you need to let go of all of your empowerment and just let people like stomp all over you and like do what they need to do. No, it is the exact opposite, complete opposite. Surrender is actually empowering. Now, hear me out. When you surrender, you open yourself up to possibility. If we can agree to that, then we can move on to the next thing. When you surrender, you're not looking at one little path, one little next thing. You are opening up to, okay, show me what comes next. You're opening up to possibility. Okay. Then the next step is to try all of those possibilities on for size. Okay. You're still being open. You're still being receptive. You're still surrendering to possibility, but you're trying every single one of those possibilities on for size and seeing what it feels like. So that means you're not you're not surrendering to just like flailing around in like chaos. No, you're discerning. It's a very discerning practice. The difference is you're not trying to force a freaking square peg into a round hole. This will work. It has to. I'm going to make it work. Damn it. It's like shoving the stepsister's foot into Cinderella's glass slipper. You're not doing that. You are allowing for possibilities. And you're seeing, by virtue of trying it on, quote unquote, I'm doing air quotes here, by virtue of trying them on, you're seeing what fits best for you. So what does that mean? It means don't reject everything from the get-go. Okay? It also means don't accept everything from the get-go. You're discerning here. So I like to call this being in a healthy state of skepticism. Okay, even things that I say or that I talk about, if you're like, yeah, that's not for me, then that's completely fine. It's beautiful to set that limit and say, yeah, Maria, that doesn't match me very well, but this stuff does, so I'll hang out over here with that stuff. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. You have to do what resonates best with you so that you can move forward in your easiest path. The universe wants things to be easy for you. It really does. It's conspiring for you, even though it feels like it's conspiring against you sometimes. If you can sit in that realm of the universe is conspiring for me, just imagine what could happen. Imagine what could happen. So, when you are being discerning, you're not rejecting everything. You're also not accepting everything. You're being in a state of healthy skepticism. That means being completely open, but not taking everything as, oh, yeah, that. Oh, wait, though, that. Oh, yes, this, that makes sense. Yes, that's perfect. No, you're going, that's interesting. Let me see. Let me try it on. Okay, so ask yourself these questions. How does it feel to continue following my provider's advice or recommendations? How has it felt so far? And how does it feel given their current recommendations? If your provider has given you a couple of options, how do each of those options feel? Okay, if anything feels completely uncomfortable to you, like with my first RE, whom I refer to affectionately or not so affectionately as Dr. Pompous in Transcending Infertility. He really was very pompous. He still is, by the way. I have a couple clients who see him. Funny enough. But if you feel completely uncomfortable and like, it's shoving that square peg into the round hole, then it's not the right move for you. Again, that can feel scary because you often don't know what is the right move then. You often don't know. The thing is, when you recognize that a certain move is not the right move, you open, and then you don't go that path, you open up to other possibilities. And then you can be discerning around those possibilities. Don't keep trying to shove that square peg into a round hole. Don't keep falling into the same hole of not being able to make your own decisions, deferring to other people outside of you, regardless of their medical degrees or training. Regardless, nobody is you. Nobody can advocate for you. Nobody can decide what is best for you except for you. That makes me think of a story that was written by Portia Nelson. You may have heard me say this before, but I just like to revisit it. And then she actually has a cool quote that is along the lines of today's podcast. So Portia Nelson was a writer. She has since passed away. She went to a seminar one time where all of the attendees were asked to write 5 chapters about their life. And they were given 5 or 3x5 note cards or whatever, just 5 note cards. And they were to write each chapter on a note card. So these are going to be very short chapters, right? And this is what she wrote. Chapter 1 of my life. I walk down the street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I fall in. I am lost. I am hopeless. It isn't my fault. It takes forever to find a way out. Chapter 2 of my life. I walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I pretend I don't see it. I've fallen again. I can't believe I'm in the same place. But it isn't my fault. It still takes a long time to get out. Chapter 3 of my life. I walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I see it there. I still fall in. It's a habit. My eyes are open. I know where I am. It is my fault. I get out immediately. Chapter 4 of my life. I walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I walk around it. Chapter 5 of my life. I walk down another street. Isn't that great? Now, the only word or phrase that I take umbrage with is fault. I don't think there's fault to be had in anything. I just think that it's choice. And when you know better, to quote Maya Angelou, you do better. And so listening to this, you begin to know better. Listening to my whole podcast, you begin to know better, and therefore you can do better. Now, there's something that is quoted it's a quote of Portia Nelson's when she was talking about knowing what you want, right? Because sometimes you don't know what you want. It's like when you know that it doesn't feel right to do IVF, for example, but then you're like, well, then what the fuck do I do? I have no idea what to do. And she says this to that. I don't know what I want sometimes, but I know that I want to know what I want. I know that once I know what I want, I will be able to get it. Of course, I may not want what I get when I get it, but at least I'll know I don't want that. Then I can move on to something else I don't know if I want. That's progress. I just love it, right? Because this whole thing, this whole experience of life is progress and not perfection. And that is what it can be on your fertility journey, your family building journey. Progress, not perfection. It's already imperfect, likely, if you're listening to this, right? Because perfection would have been, I met my partner, he's the perfect person, or she's the perfect person. We met in college sweethearts. We bought a house, we got married, we have a picket fence, and 2.4 children and a yellow lab, and yeah, it's already not that. Or whatever your picture of perfection might be. I happen to think it's all perfect. So, we need to create some stillness first, okay? And I'd like to do that with you right now. So if you can, getting into a really comfortable position, unless you are driving or walking or riding a bicycle. If you are mobile in any way, do not close your eyes. Otherwise, consider closing your eyes and just being in touch with your breath for a moment. Noticing the rise and fall of your shoulders or chest, the movement of your abdomen in and out, not needing to change it in any way. No need to slow it down or speed it up. Just watching it. Watching the movement of your body as you experience your breathing. And now, intentionally, feel the surface beneath you. If you're standing up or sitting down or lying down, just notice the surface holding you up. There's nothing else to do, nowhere else to be right now in this moment. So may as well just notice the surface holding you up. Safely, securely. And there's nothing you have to do except notice. Now, intentionally, shift your focus back to your breathing. Has it changed in any way? Has it slowed down? Maybe it stayed the same. You're just noticing. And now, taking in a final deep breath and blowing it away. Wiggling fingers and toes and fluttering your eyes open, you can now check meditation off of your list for the day. That literally took 4 minutes. 4 minutes of your day. And if you can do that increasingly every day until you reach 30 minutes, that is the stillness where you begin to be really closely in touch with your internal guidance system. And you will simply know what your next moves are. Even if that feels scary to you, you pay attention to the fear. It's just your brain trying to keep you safe. It's doing its job. Yay, brain. You say thank you to your brain, offer some gratitude. Thank you, brain, for trying to keep me safe. I really appreciate you. I am safe right now. I'm feeling the surface beneath me. I'm watching my breath. I am safe right now. You can go take a break and I'll call you when I need you. Right now, I'm getting in touch with my internal guidance system, my greater self, my intuition, and I know that I don't want that. And I am looking toward other possibilities. Okay, I am hoping that this has been helpful for you today. And I hope it makes sense in this context that you absolutely know better than your doctor or anybody else. And hey, it could happen that what is right for you internally matches up precisely with what your doctor is saying. I really hope that for you. And any other provider that you might have or any other practitioner or professional that you might engage with, I hope that your internal guidance system says, yep, that's exactly right for me. Man, that is the best place to be in. One of my favorite stories is of a beautiful friend who is due to give birth next month. She changed providers and before she did a cycle, and it was a whole different vibe for her. It just matched her. Like the nurses wore pineapples on their shirts the day of her transfer and stuff like that. Like she really felt connected to their vibe and who they are there. And their suggestions for treatment felt exactly right to her. And here she is about to give birth next month. Now, even if you do not have a successful cycle after doing what you feel is the right thing for you, you are still on the right track. Let me be clear. Do not let that deter you from moving forward on what feels right to you. You still are absolutely on the right track. This is all grist for the mill. This is all practicing trusting yourself, even if you have a failed cycle. I've had many people call me or email me inquiring, I don't understand. This felt so right. Everything was in order. Everything was working out right. Why did this not work? And I want to tell you, and certainly everybody has their own individual story, but I want to tell you, if it feels right and everything is in alignment, you're still on the right track. Trust that you're still on the right track. There are a whole host of other things happening in the background, especially in spirit baby world, and that we don't know yet. And maybe we don't need to know. All you need to know is that you are aligned with your end goal if it feels right to you. And you need to move forward in faith that you are on the right track. Okay. Empowering you to know this. You don't need anybody else to tell you, including me. You know. You already know. May you move forward in knowing this. May you get in touch with your internal guidance system, with your greater self. May you surrender to all of the possibilities around you that are in alignment with your end goal for the rest of your life, not just in building your family, for the rest of your life. I am thinking about you, and I will see you next time. Be well.